Hello, everybody. This is Joe the Lawyer from Matalog Man Cave, and I am joined by Tim Shorts of Gothridge Manor fame. Welcome to the show, folks. Another Monday night show. Our third, right? If I'm counting right.
Yeah, 3 in a row. We're
Three.
actually getting it's
Not
becoming a
bad.
habit.
Who knew we had it in us, dude, to be consistent?
I didn't think we were
I never. No, never.
No, not this.
Yeah.
Consistency is not my specialty. No.
Yeah, no, we're doing fine though. We're doing fine. So far, so good. Thank you all for joining. Let's see, how many people do we have? I have a whopping one person watching. Tim, what do you got? One. But I'm watching you, and if you're watching my channel, then we're kind of watching each other. It's a masturbatory. It's a welcome to the masturbatory YouTube video, ladies and gentlemen.
That's pretty much it.
That'll demonetize us real fast. Jesus Christ. So yeah, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. All about RPG zines, everything, all the history, how to do it yourself. Tim is goddamn knowledgeable at RPG zines. That's the main topic of the evening. But first, in anticipation of you guys watching us mess up again and look like jackasses and fools last week, like I did, because I didn't test out if I could actually get audio on a video. I just assumed it would automatically happen, right? So let's see. I'm going to try to share our screen here. I'm going to try to present. I looked up on YouTube, source of all knowledge and information. It's the new Alexandrian library, basically YouTube. So I am
right. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So
we have at least burn that, you bastards,
sons of bitches. So I learned what I need to do here. All right, so I need to show a certain tab. All right, I need to show a certain Chrome tab. But what I was doing before was showing a window or a screen. So apparently, if I do this correctly, all right, and I'm checking share audio as well. Okay, so now we see, I brought up Mr. Welch because Tim hadn't heard of this guy. We were talking about some of the famous guys out there doing location, knowledgeable about each location. And Mr. Welch, I think we all know, is probably the most knowledgeable person, at least on YouTube, on the entire Mystara setting. So I figured this is a good opportunity to not only show him the channel, but to also, and now, of course, he's talking about the Star Trek RPG, making a fucking liar out of me. I'm not talking about Mystara.
I was going to say.
So, in any case, I got 5 watching over on mine, Tim. You got somebody over on yours. So, guys, I'm going to try to play this thing. All right? Tell me if you hear it.
Crosses Star Trek RPG.
I hear,
or as it's known in Japan.
Does anybody out
I'm
there?
hearing it this time.
Oh my.
Okay.
It's the evil twin system to West End Games Star Wars, where that benefited greatly from the full cooperation from Lucasfilm.
Do you guys
Star Trek
hear
had to deal with
Mr.
Paramount's
Welch
increasing demands
right now?
over the license.
That's what we're doing. A little
ultimately killing the game
guys.
and undoing all the creations FOSSA gave to its universe.
You're hearing it?
Everything that worked for West End Games ended up working against FOSSA.
I didn't hear it last time.
Despite its fate, it's still beloved by Trekkies. And the ship combat rules are held up to date.
So that's what we're trying to see.
Vehicle systems
we will stop playing Mr. Welch and stop showing Sulu and Uhura.
Enough of the Shatner voice. I'm not great at impersonations, and a little Kirk goes a long way.
Every episode.
Star Trek is one of the oldest RPGs, dating back to 1982, also making it one of the original licensed games.
Yes.
It predates Star Wars D6 by 5 years.
Trying to see,
I know I keep comparing these two, but there are a ton of parallels.
If you could hear this, all right. So we're looking for answers here, guys. We're looking. This is a beta play test of our goddamn show. So Paul, Mike, if you just heard my Mr. Welch or Mystara, please let me know. Yeah, you heard us, Mike. But did you hear Mr. Welch? That's what we're looking for. Did you hear Mr. Welch? Because if you heard Mr. Welch, then I figured out my retardism here, and it should work now the next time. Can you say that anymore? I don't know. But yeah. So Mike, if you heard that, let us know. Okay. All right. Let's see. I will stop this presentation. Yeah, just. What do you mean just? Like you just heard it? Like it wasn't too loud? You got to be clear, man. You got to be clear, Paul. What does that mean? Just what? Yeah, hello. Yes, I heard Mr. Welch. All right. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it. All right. And it was clear. There was no problems with the audio or anything. All right. I could get rid of Mr. Welch now. Although some of you may be enjoying William Shatner in a bit of his shirt off. So I might leave that for you guys for a bit. And yeah, whatever.
You do have a weird
information there.
collection of naked guys on your.
Hey, that was Mr. Welch. That wasn't
computer.
me. You'll blame me for Mr. Welch's taste in Sulu and Captain Kirk hookup fantasies. There, it's not me, man. That's just
All
hey,
right,
whatever floats your boat there.
you're the one who knew about him and was watching him. So
I was looking for my Stara shit, not Captain Kirk with no shirt on.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Thank you. Heard him talking Star Trek. Success. Yes. All right. Now I know how to do it. It took me an hour to find a Google video, a YouTube video on how to do this, because it's so basic that nobody's that stupid to not be able to do it. So it took so long to find a video. Yeah, I'm typing, dude. Just you typing over it. You yapping. Yeah, I was yapping, definitely. I was yapping over it. Yep. Good. All right, cool, guys. Thank you very much for that beta test there. So much appreciated. Next time we do this, we should be good to go. So Tim, what's new? What's cool with you this week, man? What's good?
Cool. Oh, right. I do have a problem with dice. And I got new dice.
You should have a
today,
dice.
Actually.
There should be a dice 12-step program. Really. Just
but it would just we'd roll a D12 and see which one we'd start with.
That's true.
We'd make it into a random table, so it doesn't. I don't think it would work.
We start trading.
I'm going to show you the dice I originally got. So these are from a place called Dice Envy.
Oh yeah. I followed them.
Yeah, they've got some really nice dice here. So they have, how D4s are pain in the ass, little pyramids,
Yeah.
Well, they have this thing. I don't know if they're called barrel dice or infinity dice. Let's see. So they look like it's just,
yeah. I've seen those before. They're pretty cool.
So I finally went ahead and
you want to make yourself bigger there, man? Like you can make yourself bigger, can't you?
I suppose you guys can see it okay, probably.
Yeah.
They're little dice. So
there you go. There we go.
Get it out. So I gotta. Okay. Do I have to? What is it? What are those girls doing to do this? Oh shit, that does work, doesn't it?
Does it? All right.
Yeah.
So you're watching. Is this an Ivy there? You just admitted to watching all these girls on Instagram and all these other sites.
Well, every time Ivy watches them, I always see the girls do the.
Okay. Ivy's watching the girls. Okay, now I get it. All right. Exit solo layout. Oh, boom! I figured something out tonight too. Look at that! I didn't know you could even do that.
So you got 4 of these, and they're having a sale over there. Actually, I just got the email. Of course, I just get these in the mail today, and then I get the email that says they're having a $1 sale for these kind of dice.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you want some, go over to Dice Envy, and we're not sponsoring us. They're just cool. I just thought I hadn't seen D4s like that before, and I've been I do a lot of window shopping over there. I just look around, put stuff in the cart, and then I exit out. I don't buy anything.
Yeah.
So I got I like buying mystery packs because
you do that? I don't trust it.
I love doing it. Well, that's why I get dice that I normally wouldn't buy. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the worse. But I would have never bought these, but these are pretty cool.
They are.
It's a 10 dice thing. Let's see if I can open the fucking thing. There we go. And these are now Ivy will like these. These, there's nothing real fancy about them. They're just like brown caramel.
Yeah. Look, caramels. But, I would eat them. They look like caramels.
Yeah, I know. So there's 10 of them, and then I got an oversized D20 on there, so I can see my 1 really well.
Oh, is that a wooden one? I think I had the same one.
No. These are just what are they? Poly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the regular. They're just
yeah.
But they're goofy, but they have what? Let me see. They have like a cup of coffee on the D20. I'll never see it, but there it is.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's goofy, but I know Ivy will like it. But I'll definitely use it. Especially, I like the oversized. I never gotten a D20 like an oversized one like that. Yeah. I got the baseball size ones.
Yeah, exactly. I have a set of foam dice, like all big oversized foam.
Oh yeah. I have seen those.
I kind of like those because I get thrown with the players and they instinctively duck like they're gonna die, but it's just foam.
And then as part of the swag, they gave me this little, it's an inspiration thing, I guess, but it's actually a metal coin. It's not a cheap thing. This is a nice little metal, and they just put that in there for free.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's pretty cool.
I don't know. I like cool coin, weird coins, gaming coins.
Yeah.
I got a pouch of them. Actually, you know what I've done, Joe, is like
What?
over the, I don't know, months or years or something like that. You know those little gold colored dollar coins that the banks give out or
Yeah.
can give out?
Uh-huh.
I buy a batch of them every so often, so that way one of these days I'm going to actually use it as a prop at a game. So when somebody when somebody throws out, says, "Well, I'll give you 100 gold pieces," it's pretty whatever. But if you actually throw out a bag full of like $100 coin, $100 in coins,
Yeah.
and the sound of it, the feel of it,
Oh
the
yeah,
weight
yeah,
of it,
yeah. Yeah.
all of a sudden that becomes much more real, and it would just be fun. I mean, I'd have to watch when I throw that out there because thieving bastards.
Well, then you're looking at a true test of what is encumbrance. I mean, oh yeah, you're going to carry 2,000 silver pieces.
Right, exactly.
Okay, here's 100. You weak ass RPG player, stand up and walk
Mm-hmm.
around the room with that now. You know.
Absolutely, yeah. But I
good.
just. But yeah, I did. So I have a bag of weird coins that I've collected.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Man.
What about you, Joseph? What has been your cool thing?
Cool thing of the week is we figured out our vacation this year. We're actually, I was going to go to North Texas this year, like I did last year. I had a great time last year. But last year we also went on this family vacation. My brother, my sister, myself, and their kids. And I'm the cool uncle tagging along. And, it was a good time. We went to the Jersey Shore, and we had a relaxing vacation on the beach, kind of don't do nothing recovery time thing. That was good. But we wanted to upscale it this year. So because of the upscaling, I'm no longer going to North Texas, which is the RPG tie-in to this entire story. I'm going to go there next year. And we're going to do Atlantic City this year. And so there's, the people who want the beach get the beach. And then whoever doesn't want, there's a lot to do on the boardwalk there, right? It's not like the other kind. It's not like a shitty boardwalk, right? So there's a lot of great restaurants, a lot to do, a lot of activities. So it should be a good time. It's funny thing was I just increased my work has you can take money out, put it in a vacation fund, and I just increased it last month. And after talking about everything I wanted to do tonight, I filled out the form to increase it again to be able to afford what I decided I want to do here. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, these restaurants are great. Whoa, that's the price of an appetizer. All right, got to fill out that form.
Yeah.
So
that's cool though. That's cool. It's your brother, wife, and all the kiddos then?
Yep, and then my sister and her husband and all their kids. So it'll be 6 kids, 5 adults. I ended up because of hard to get a house. They wanted to get a house together. They're all staying in one, and I'm staying at their Hard Rock Cafe. I got an oceanside in the hotel and casino. So I got not the cafe itself, sleeping under the tables when no one's there. So I got an ocean view and all that. So, but I did decide that I wanted to do one thing different. I wanted to do one night there. I mean, you guys, the Rat Pack and all that, right? Back in the day. You're all those guys. I mean, I wanted to do one thing where I just had a fucking night out. I wanted that. You remember that picture, Tim? It's on my wall above the bar.
Yeah, I do remember
that bar area. Yeah, I love that picture. It's just cool dudes. So I'll bring a nice. I mean, normally vacation you bring shorts, jeans, whatever the hell, right? But I wanted a night. So I'm gonna do that one night and see what trouble I can get into.
Dress up like the Rat Pack.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it up, man.
Are you gonna go for the Sinatra look?
I don't know. Look, I like kind of like Dino. You can't go wrong with Dino. You really can't.
I mean, if I had to pick one, it would definitely be a Dino look.
Just cool. Although Dino always faked the drinking. He was the straightest guy of them all. The other guys got tanked. But Dino, he'd go back in his room, chill out, relax, not do anything. He's a party pooper. But for the look, I kind of like the Dino look. So I'm going to do that one night, little catch a show, a little gamble. I don't gamble, Tim. I mean, except in RPGs. If there's a place for my character to gamble, I will, because it's not my money. You don't gamble at all? What I'll do is I'll do slots. I'm not slots. I'll do the roulette table. If I walk by a slot.
That's not gambling. That's not just donating.
That kind of. But it's the only game I can understand,
Yeah, I get that.
I mean,
I'm not a gambler either. If I go, it's slot machines and that. I mean, I know blackjack pretty well, but
do you do it in a casino? Do you know it well enough for that?
Oh yeah, I could do it at a casino, but the thing is, I know it well enough that I know I would not do well.
Yeah. I mean, the slot machines. It's like there's a casino in Springfield Massachusetts, where I go to get the weed, it's like literally across the street. So I'll stop in there, and sometimes I'll drop 20. It takes about 9 seconds to drop 20 in a slot machine. It does. But the only thing I've ever won on ever at a casino was about $200 for putting down 25 on a roulette table. I wanted to go see Robert Plant play at the Indy Casino.
Is that when you did that? Was that a couple of years ago? I remember?
Yeah, it was the Mohegan Sun, I think it was, out here in Connecticut, and Robert Plant was there, and I said, you know what, I'm going to see this guy. He might die tomorrow. He's like up there.
I know.
Right?
I mean, I was so jealous.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, I wanted to go. Yeah,
I went all out.
I haven't been to a concert in so long, and to go to that would have been such a great time.
Yeah, true. I craps are dice. I get it. But I just want, that's why I went all out. I may never see this guy most likely in my life again. So I bought like a ticket that was right in the center, $350. It was just like, and it was that experience. You know what I mean? So I want to recreate that. So that's my cool thing of the week is I'm planning a big vacation this summer, and then I'll be broke. So
that's cool. It sounds like a great vacation though. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Hey, did you write haha? Or did I write haha?
I wrote it, but I was meant to put it in the YouTube, but I put it in the studio, so it came out as you.
I did have a couple puffs and a couple sips. So I wondered if I wrote it and didn't remember it, or if you wrote that.
You haven't had that many edibles yet. Yeah.
All right.
You're good.
All right. Craps are dice. That is a good point. I mean, but I was looking at the rules for craps, and it's like, holy shit! I need a PhD. I need to be Rob. With the math in this thing here, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm just roll the dice and see. Tell me if I win. I get craps, but at the same time, I don't. I mean, alley craps is one thing, sevens, 11s, and snake eyes. But casino craps, there's like 400 different sub rules. It's like Gygaxi in its nature, really. It's AD&D. I like the Beckney craps, not the AD&D craps.
Alley craps turn into like the old time dungeon masters. The rules tend to change. Depending on how the biggest guy decides they are.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So
anyway, Rob gambling. What did Rob say?
Is gambling. He pissed away $3 entire. So all your Kickstarter money, boys and girls, is pissing right out of Rob's bank account, right into the online gambling scene, as you could tell here.
I ran a penny ante casino. Oh, he ran it.
Oh, really?
Electronic roulette wheel in high school. So he was like the hustler in high school.
Look at Rob.
Wow,
Rob, I'm going to call Rob Goodfellas from now on. Goodfellas Rob,
Look at him. He's fuck no, I was the goddamn house. So, yeah, there you go. Not surprised.
God. Topic of the night, boys and girls, is zines.
What is it?
Now,
zines.
Just like Rob there's no greater expert on the wilderlands of high fantasy than Rob. There's no greater expert on Mystara than Mr. Welch, was where I was asking that question about Tim. There's no greater expert on Greyhawk than Joe Block, the Greyhawk Grognard. I don't know of any more qualified, more of an expert person on zines, especially RPG scenes, than Tim. In fact, the first zine I ever bought, because it's the first one I ever freaking heard of, was yours, Tim. It was The Manor number 1.
Oh, it was the first one you heard. Well, there wasn't a lot out then, like gaming zines.
No, yeah. No? I never knew what it was. I'm like, this is something. All I knew was that it was like $6 or $8 and I could afford it. People who were just
$5, probably.
$5, yeah.
I was just charging $5 back then. Yeah.
$5, yeah. So I mean, people in the OSR were starting finally to put out a couple things. Rob put out his supplement 6, right? I think it was. And some other people were putting out little things, you had the clones and stuff were popping out. And so I'm like, I can't afford that. But $5, I'm in, where I could get something finally, So that yours was the first zine I ever bought for a while. It was the only zine I had until I bought the rest of them,
Yeah, you have everything now, James.
I have all the zines. So I don't have all your little cards and everything else there, all the earlier stuff from your Patreon days. I got a decent collection of it.
Oh, I thought I gave you all the rest of them that you were missing. You bought everything though, I thought.
Well, then, I don't believe it or not, there's one NPC card I don't have. It's like some random number somewhere, and I
know you'll have to tell me, and I'll say it to you, because I know, or I'll just hold it hostage.
Yeah.
Because they know it'll just drive you nuts to get
it. It's just sitting there. I'll have to go onto your site, print it up, laminate it, and stick it in there myself, because it's just where my OCD will be triggered so badly, God. Hey, Tim, you got 3 watchers right now. Night Noon Games is over there on your channel. I don't know if you realize that.
Yeah, I
And I'm
did
over
answer
on
him back, I believe.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
there it
yeah.
is.
But so anyway, Tim is a great person to ask about zines. He runs the Facebook RPG zine channel. I think what 4 or 6,000 people, 4 or 6 or something like that, right?
No,
Tim?
no, no. It's I think we were 4.7 thousand.
4.7.
So
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
Good.
4,700 some. Yeah, I did. I was actually looking, trying to. I can never remember where to find the number, the
Mhm.
exact number it is. I find it, and then I immediately forget where to find that exact number. As
Yeah,
soon
yeah,
as I
yeah.
click out of
Yeah.
it. So, but yeah, we're 4.7. We, of course, this time of year, January, before February when Zine Quest starts,
Mhm.
it's always we've gotten, increase of what do you want to call it, members and
Yeah,
everything.
members and posts too. People it picks up again. So I figured this is a
Oh
good time.
yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
have to kind of do the post about, I let people post twice about their Kickstarter
That's it,
in
right?
February. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care when they post them. Just keep it to 2, and that way
Yeah.
everybody's, Kickstarter can have their own space on here, and it's
Mhm.
already, we have so many people because it really has become, unfortunately, just inundated with Kickstarter stuff all the time. And I'd
Yeah.
like to see it more content, more how-tos, more
Mhm.
interviews. But I'm guilty. I don't do that stuff either. And I wish I was more interactive with the group. But
But you did do
unfortunately,
that stuff. I mean, look, this
my
is what
energy,
started me, Tim. This is with this
that was
article on
back in
your
2013. Yeah.
2013, 11 years ago, due for an update, by the way, because this is where I bought this stuff from Tim, and he is just at the time he just put out 3 manners. Now there's 9 right now, guys. And
Yeah.
he had just a lot of questions about how to make a zine, and he put this post out. I'm curious. You could probably look up the old blogger page count, but I bet you pretty high on this one, man, because
Yeah.
this
I
is
know.
well done. It's starting equipment, get a printer, talking about the staplers, various publishing programs, how much space you're going to need, what kind of cover, what kind of paper you're going to need, and then the ink and the printer and the costs for all the pages and the cost by page for the ink, printing services, envelopes, postage, fees, other costs. And he does like spreadsheet shit down here, the total cost and then some final advice. So this was
Mhm.
fantastic. I had it in my head 6 or 8 years ago. I'm going to do zines, and I had this bookmarked forever in a section called zines on my computer,
Oh,
and it's
really?
still there. Yeah, it's still there.
That's funny.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of information here on the how-tos. But you're not just an expert on the how to do it because you've done it. You're also, an expert on the history of it. So, I mean, you were telling me some interesting stuff before. Mary Shelley.
Well, more Emily Bronte. She had put out this zine. I don't know, whatever year it was.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite part about this, now I've never read it, never saw it, of course. I mean, I've just seen pictures of it and people talking about it. But it said written by nobody and for sale, or what did it say? For sale by, or written by nobody, and now I forgot the price. It's not for sale. Price not for sale, or something like that. So in her little, what do you want to call it? Her front page, to me, she's kind of encapsulated just this punk zine attitude
Yeah, that's
by
the
Emily
entire
Bronte.
aesthetic of it. Yeah.
It's just great. I just love that. Yeah.
I mean, because
Yeah.
zines, my knowledge of zines comes from getting some and looking it up on like Wikipedia, the internet, and I got a couple books on the history of it. But I mean,
Mhm.
it was my understanding was mostly punk rock stuff in the '70s that really set the zine scene on in the public zeitgeist, right? I mean, before that,
Right.
you could argue that pamphleteers and back in the day were zine people,
Absolutely.
right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
mean, in terms of a specific genre, fan put together thing rather than a propaganda piece, it's well, I mean, fanzines are propaganda pieces, like my band, right? But at the same time, it's homespun, made for a different purpose than persuasion. Generally, it's more of like a creative outlet. It's something like, hey, look what I did, and that came in the '70s, I think, right? Is that the gist of it when it all hit?
Well, you had a couple. I mean, like if you're talking about the '70s, because like, let's go back even further. So back in the
Mhm.
1930s, one of the first zines, or probably the first zine, was The Comet. And that was shared by uh, like science fiction. That's science fiction, science, and they added stories. And that's where the term zine came from. But they were calling them fanzines.
Mhm.
And then it just got shortened to zine from there.
So it's
And they
not
were pretty
Zine.
much,
It's
what's
not
that?
Zine, as Eric says. Then it's not
No,
Zine.
no, no, Eric. No. Every time Eric would say that, I took it personal. I just,
It just
it
sounded
just
wrong
grated on me. Oh, it was just so, yeah. And he kept saying it.
all the
I,
time.
I know. I think it was a couple of years ago, and he kept on saying Zion. I actually called him on the phone, and I said, "Just stop it, Eric.
You made a phone call.
Stop it."
You made a phone
Yes,
call for that.
yes, I made a phone call. I was like, "Stop it."
Oh God,
Oh
Jesus
yeah,
Christ,
I was
man,
like, "You're just gonna make me like
that's
cry
hilarious.
if you say that one more
You're like
time
a
like
hermit.
that."
You're making a phone call on this. That's how important it was to you.
It was. I don't ever get on my phone, but for this, it was definitely worth getting on the phone for.
Fucking Howard Hughes in his later years. That's Tim right now, sitting in his
Yeah,
bunker
pretty
up there.
much. Yeah, but without the money. Just
Without the money,
I don't
yeah,
have any
yeah.
money, but I got lots of gaming stuff.
Well, you're not
You
peeing
know.
in bottles and stashing
I
in the
am
corner
not
either,
doing
right?
that
Okay,
either.
so well, you're
No,
good then. You're good to go.
no. So
Yeah,
I got a few checks in my side of the, I guess, column, huh?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, don't interrupt on Eric there. Eric
Yeah.
derailed us, not
No.
even being here, son of a bitch. But
What's
yeah,
that?
so he derailed us and he's not even here, that son of a bitch.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so basically, it was a zine called, it's pronounced zine. All right, and so go ahead, keep going. In the 70s, we're back talking about this.
Well, then it got really picked up pace, of course, in the punk era.
Mm-hmm.
And what really picked it up too was this. There was this subgenre of punk rock called Riot Girls. Girls
Yeah,
as
I
in
remember that.
GRRRLS.
S or Z or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was more of a feminist movement with music mixed in.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, where I was at, because I didn't know really anything about this,
Mm-hmm.
and because we live in Podunk, PA here,
Mm-hmm.
but me and my one friend, we would go to Cleveland, and they had this beautiful.
You have one friend. Sorry, dude.
I just had one friend. Yes,
Sorry, man.
they went to there. Yeah. Well,
Shout out to Rob.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even Rob.
So Rob's not your
No,
friend. Admission
no,
at the Dirty
it's not
Lawyer
back
Trick.
then. Yeah. We would go to Cleveland to this huge record store that they
Uh-huh.
had there. And I used to like to go up there because they had this special section of cassettes
Uh-huh.
they were all bootleg.
Uh-huh.
And they would sell the bootleg tapes there. So that's where I get my weird Pink Floyd tapes or my weird, I don't know, just different versions that weren't sold in America, but they would sell them there. But then one day, on the top of the magazine rack, I saw, or the record album rack, there was the zines, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, what the hell are these things?
Yeah.
And the one, and because of course, what got my attention was the one it was a Riot Girl cover,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember which one because there was different versions of it, but it was like a half naked girl on the cover.
Can't
So
beat
I'm like,
that. You really
yeah,
can't go wrong with that, honestly.
got my attention.
Yeah. Good selling
I
point.
think it was, yeah. So and then I saw there was other ones and they were different. And I asked the owner, or at least the guy who ran the thing, I said, what are these? Are these for sale? What are these? He goes, oh, those are, I forgot what he called. He didn't call them zines. He called them some other weird.
Now, what year are we talking
name.
around? What?
86.
Okay.
And I think he just called them punk magazines. He goes, oh, those are the punk magazines. I was like, okay. And I'm like, I said, I don't see any price on them. And he just laughed. He goes, no, they're there for free. Damn. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, so all of them are free? Because I'm like, I'm looking at them.
Take them all and sell them for $1 each.
I did. I didn't want to sell them, but I did just the one I looked through. I didn't understand the fucking thing in it.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of pictures, words, all different things, and it had rusty safety pins keeping it together. The one I
Nice.
looked at. That's how
Nice.
they did the binding.
Yeah.
You had to worry. You had to worry about, there was some danger involved.
A little tetanus action there.
Yeah,
That's good. If you're not dodging tetanus while reading something, you're not really a man. You know.
Didn't take them all. I
No?
really wanted to take them all, but I didn't. I only because I thought I'll just take 2. So I took 2, and I went through it, and I went through them again, and then I was mad that I didn't take all. But I thought they were really interesting. But I did. I because he says what you do is like if you take some, he goes, then you got to come back and leave some.
Yeah.
So that's what I started doing with the guy, and it was just I just found it fascinating. I mean,
Did you make some and leave some, or find some and leave some?
I never made any. I just No. I hadn't gotten to that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I did is I found a mimeograph machine.
Is that the one with the crank wheel with the blue toner and all that?
Crank wheel with that purple ass, stinky ass ink.
And you heard it in the school forever.
Yep. Oh God. And it would mold so quick, like that ink would breed bacteria like crazy. So I did it originally. I did I did a dungeon. Real dumb one. Your geographic, simple thing, numbered, go, blah, 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 blah. And then I cranked it out. And I thought this was the coolest thing in the world. I'm making something. This is really cool. Didn't realize I had to let them dry a little bit. So like when I was cranking them through and whatnot, they were getting smeared.
Yeah.
But I sold them at school for 25 cents each, I think is what it was.
Anybody buy them besides Rob?
I sold them all. As soon as people, I sold. I mean, I didn't make that many. I mean, like, I think out of the, it wasn't a lot, Joe. I think I sold 14, 15.
Yeah, man.
so I made enough to go buy some pinball or no, I didn't. Back then you couldn't find fucking dice. So that's right. You couldn't find them anywhere. But it was buy some Coke, cola,
yeah. Unless you get some cheap Coke out there, I would assume.
Exactly. Yeah, quarter of the time. Yeah, it was funny.
Jesus. So 17 years old, you're already an entrepreneur out there in the zine scene, man, making money.
And then it ended because that thing was such a horrific machine. And I came down one day because we were storing it in the basement. And I didn't realize
snorting it. Did you say snorting it in the basement?
Storing it. No, not
snorting. Storing. Oh, okay. I thought you were snorting the ink there.
No. But yeah, it was unfortunately a bad breeding ground for this bacteria, and it just was all over the place. Like mold was growing there, and so I basically, it was just too much of a pain in the butt to take care of.
Yeah.
I don't know why I never thought. My mom worked in an office with a Xerox machine, and it never occurred to me to do it on that. That would have been too easy. I guess.
I couldn't. I mean, back then the only copy machine we had was like there was a little, convenience store down the street, and in the style of The Simpsons. And then there was another one. There was one copy machine at the library, 15 cents a page, and it was like shitty quality. So I was like, I'm not gonna. Why? What? I have the money, But it's like the hell with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But kind of what we skipped over. What is a zine? How do you define it? Because in my little quick searches, everybody has their own definition, right? It's like, what is the OSR? Same thing. What is the OSR? What is a zine, right? It's the same thing. But how do you define it? What would
for me? It's definitely a bit of an attitude. It's got to help that you. And it doesn't have to be like me against the world kind of attitude. It's just an attitude of some sort. Like you want to bring something to it. You're buying, or you just really want to show something or share something.
Yeah.
Just something that you, I guess the best way to define it is it's got a very strong personal point of view.
Okay. An artistic expression, run them up.
Yeah. And then, like as far as the format, some people say, can't be this, can't be that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with technology, there's no limit to a zine can be disguised in many types of things. I mean, was it Phil Reed? When one of his many Kickstarters that he did, he basically did a zine on a record, and then on cards and on different types of, he broke in his own way, he broke the zine kind of stereotype and formatting and way in several different ways.
Yeah. Interesting. Changed the medium of it. So it's an artistic expression on, normally on paper, like a tiny little magazine.
Yeah.
Basically saying something to the world, All right. That makes sense. Now, so
or it can just be personal. I mean, some people just make a zine for themselves where it's just such a handcrafted thing that it's just one of a kind.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be shared with anybody. It just can be your, I mean, zines I think are best when they're shared, but if you want to make a zine that's just like for you, then I mean, there's really no.
It sounds like a
really
diary sketchbook, right? A diary sketchbook in a sense.
Yeah,
right?
Diary could be a zine. Absolutely, it could be. Yeah.
Now, from age 18 or whatever it was in high school to the early days of the OSR, when people were starting to publish our own stuff, what was the transition for you? Did you drop it until the OSR zine stuff, or did you keep going with it? Like when those 30 or 40 years or whatever happened,
What do you? I'm sorry, I don't
understand. Did you keep up on either creating or buying zines in that time?
I didn't know, because I wasn't creating any zines. That was my. I think I did 2 issues. Issues, piece of paper. And then I didn't do anything for the longest time. Because I was doing all this other, other things or whatnot. And but I was always interested in it. I always wanted to do some sort of writing kind of thing. And it was when I got my first computer, you were able to do. They had this program on it. I forgot what it was called, but I could do pamphlets.
Okay.
And so I just started making pamphlets, but they were more fiction. I was doing like short stories on pamphlets because I don't know. I just liked the idea of that, but I couldn't figure out how to print them on both sides. I could only print on one side, kind of thing. And then I was doing that for a little bit, but for myself, there was no selling or anything, and that. But it wasn't until I got in the OSR, and then I came into it about 2008, thanks to Rob. Actually, he kept on showing me these blogs, and I just thought, I just wasn't interested. I don't, I hated the word blog back then. It just sounds like somebody just forgot to throw up. I don't know, and.
I didn't know what the hell it was until I got booted off of everywhere else, and I'm like, "Well, man, I got to write somewhere."
You got hell everywhere you went.
I got to do something. I couldn't stop writing, so
But so I started seeing what they're talking about and all the sharing stuff, and then I knew there was like small magazines out there, but I didn't really go research them. And then it wasn't until I'm going to do my first Rob Reach Around.
Oh, the Reach Around. Here it is, boys and girls.
I don't know if Rob knows we have a Rob Reach Around count.
Oh, I've made it known.
We have the originator here today, folks. Meet Rob, the originator of the Rob Reach Around.
The Reach Around itself is, the master of, Rob is the master of the Reach Around.
I'm sure he's proud to, we should get him a t-shirt that says that.
The Rob Reach Around?
The master of the Reach Around or something.
Master of the Reach Around. I think that works.
Yeah.
That works. That works for me. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So we have the Reach Around, boys and girls.
Back in the day, Christopher Walker put this Lovatars.
Christian Walker.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say?
Christopher walk in, you were thinking, I think.
I don't know what I was thinking. So this is the very first issue. Or no, that's the 13th issue. I got the last one. He did 13 things. So got my little zine box here. So this one, is that the first one now? Yeah. Right there.
Okay. There it is.
Yeah.
Did he draw that too?
No, Jay Bell did all of his, or no, not Jay Bell, Jay Penn. I can't get anybody's name right tonight. Jay Penn did all his artwork for him, all the colors.
You're the one who had 5 puffs and a couple drinks tonight.
Yeah, well, see, I don't need that. See, Joe, I don't need that to have mind altering effects here. But I saw what he did, and I'm like, oh my god, I can combine my gaming and my writing again. And I was like, oh my god, I like that. And then you know what changed everything, Joe?
What? Oh, we're gonna reach around again. Oh, the stapler.
The long arm stapler. I need some Star Trek music as it flies by.
I think that would demonetize us or something. Get us.
Probably would. We can say all the swear words we want. You can probably put up a half-naked lady, but if you used a theme from a show that's over 60 years old or something like that, you're out of here, sons of bitches.
Jesus
so
Christ.
I talked to Kristen and about what he did, and he was really great. I mean, that's when I really started reaching out. He was actually probably the first person I reached out to in the OSR.
Really?
He was very good about talking. Yeah, I mean, like on a one-on-one basis. Most of the time it's communicating through blogs or whatever, and that. I don't even think Google Plus hadn't even come out yet.
Yeah, I mean, early blog days. Yeah, they didn't have anything like that. Yeah.
No. And then, but when I got the long arm stapler, even like that post that you just shared, if you go back like a couple months, I have a post about something, and then I have the long arm stapler, and it's just a picture of the long arm stapler, and titled underneath it is "Just saying."
That's funny.
And that was it. That's all I left, because that basically that long arm, and it's the original one I bought. Yeah, so
just saying long arm and in terms of measuring contests, Tim. Just want to show you something here. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Because you were talking about the old blog days, right? I went back and found your first post, April 19th, 2009.
Yeah.
Your original Welcome to Gothridge Manor. Rob is April 1st, 2008. So he's got you by a little over a year, right?
Yep.
So Rob is ahead. Eric is My Worthless Words of Wisdom is his very first post, 08. So it looks like Rob and then Eric, and then I don't have my blog up anymore, but I still got this thing. The old blogger, I can still get in there. And I was April 10th, 2009.
Oh, we were really close, huh?
Yeah, we were. We got in around the same time. I mean, we got
10
in
days after
09.
you.
Yeah. And Eric got in there about a long time before us. I suspect that Eric, though, he probably got in and then see, this is the one post in all of 08. And then he picked up in 09 in May of 09. So he didn't really, you know what I mean? So he got in there with something, but
So he came in about a month after us then.
He officially kind of, Because I remember him saying that I was his first follower on his blog back in the day, and I'm like, no shit, he said that was his very first follower. So I was interested. Anyway, didn't want just memory lane there in terms of dick.
Yeah.
So it looks like Rob got us both in the OSR.
No, Rob was definitely in there because he was showing, like I said, he had been showing me the blogs for a while, and then eventually I did decide. I finally caved and decided to check it out.
Yeah. Robert's going to have trouble doing the reach around. He had to get replacement shelves. Okay. That's all right.
You warm out. Yeah. Gotta pace yourself on it, right?
So Christian Walker got you into it, and continue. Sorry, interrupted the whole Christian Walker.
No, that was. I mean, then that's when I came up with the first manor, and it was just fun trying to because the one thing I had really experimented with was it was nice playing with the elements. The hardest thing I had trouble with was the artwork because I couldn't draw. I couldn't do anything. But Jason Schultes was kind of ironic. Rob and I and Jason and some other folks met up in Erie for a day of gaming. It wasn't a convention. It was mainly a board game convention, but there was a little bit of role playing. So we decided to meet up there and everything. Well, Jason blew off the game he was supposed to run, and I just sat there, and then I had to play a 4E game instead.
Yeah, oh God!
So
a double screw.
Yeah. So he apologized profusely, and when I was trying to figure out with the artwork, he said, "Well, I'll do it." he goes, yeah. He goes, that's the least I could do to help you out. So he did the artwork for free for me for the first zine. He just
That's cool.
That's how I got started with it. I got to start with such
Free
a
art.
great art. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was. I mean, he just did such a fantastic job, and it's so great. It's the first time I had anybody draw for me for anything.
That's cool, man.
So it was really cool when you were giving somebody your idea and watching it appear.
Yeah. You're manifesting something into the world. That's kind of
neat,
and
I've always been very grateful for Jason for that, because that was just such a great help for that. And I should say, his friend John Loria too at the time. I forgot John. John helped a lot on the first episode or the first issue also. Yeah, he did a lot of great work. But Jason and John's styles are so similar that it's
blended nicely.
They blended really well.
That's
complemented
good.
each other nicely. Yeah.
No. So now you've been into zines since you're 18. So that's a long time, right? So a long time.
Yeah, especially now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to get to the age thing, but yeah, very long time. So you're into zines since you're 18. You're checking them out of all types. You've seen zines of all types, not just OSR zines, but the rock zines, punk zines, all the types of zines. And what makes, there must be something in common that makes a good zine in your opinion. What makes a good zine? What would you say, God, this is good?
Strong personal opinion. A strong personal point of view with a zine. There's varying degrees of execution, whether they do it or not. But it's sort of, I can't remember who said it. It's one of the classic things. I think I heard it on that Beethoven movie or something like that. To play the wrong notes is okay, but to play without passion is unforgivable.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
So that's what I think a zine is. You can screw up, you can do it, but to not do a zine with some passion is unforgivable.
God, that really could be the motto of the OSR in a lot of ways too, I think. Because everything we all do for ourselves, everything we publish, you're not making money off of this. Who's making a living off of OSR shit? We do it because it's a passion project, right? And we want to put our own thing out there. We all, everybody wants to hit it big, no matter what you do. But we know we're not going to. So you just put out there your freaking vision, and you want to make it, something that stands out as this is me, my legacy. I'm a hero. I'm left behind.
I've always said with my zines, I always wanted to give someone a peek behind my mind and my DM screen. Like if I'm running a game, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm creating to share with my players. And that. So that was always like, I guess, my point of view doing that.
And your Patreon has that imprinter as well. All the stuff you put on your Patreon has the same vibe as your zines,
Yeah. I haven't changed, so it's not going to change too much. Yeah.
I know you don't, there's a whole thing now with when you did it. I think it was just, you printed out stuff on your Epson printer and stapled them. You and Ivy sat there and, long arm stapler out there and just printing and stapling and cursing out the gods of printers and
that was for my first Kickstarter when I decided to do that at home. That was a mistake.
But
it was a good experience, but it was still a mistake. But when I'm doing my like with my Kickstarter, or not Kickstarter, for my like manners and stuff. We're talking. My first manor, of course, sold better than any. We'll talk about sales numbers a little bit too. Like my first initial run would be anywhere from 50 to 100.
That's not bad.
I would sell those out. Like my first manor ones probably sold close to 1,000 copies. Which is incredible. A lot of that was digital, and I think you and I were talking about this before the show. One of the big things is because there's a lot of
You talk. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Keep going.
Yeah, please. Yeah. It's like a lot of the zinesters have their own opinion on how zines should be made and everything, and which is perfectly fine for them. But if it's not fine for you, you got to find your own groove. And one of the big decisions I had to make was whether to let it go digital, because there was a big discussion about whether zine should be a digital product or purely physical, because going digital to some people thought that was heretical. So, but I decided I wanted to go with PDF because people wanted PDFs, and especially if I didn't want to limit the medium either. So I just thought it was a good idea to add that digital component. And I don't regret it, but it did get some people mad because they did that. I remember that. But as like I said, I got to do my zine your way, and if I listen to you, then it wouldn't be very zine like then. So
Is there, looking at zines now, do you see a split in, like, is there an old school zine scene that says only paper or nothing? You know, if you're doing PDF, fuck you.
I don't think, I mean, I haven't seen any, division up, like, especially in my group. I mean, we're 4,700 people strong. And the great thing about there is a lot of that group is such a good, positive group.
Yeah.
They don't really, they only pull people up. They don't see anybody trying to dissuade people. And that's what I built it for, to kind of pull people up, to encourage people, to get people who aren't even thinking about making a zine to make one. Give it a go, even if it's just a little bit, just a short run. I had one guy who had he had his 8-year-old son make up a zine.
Really? Crayons and everything, or what?
I'm gonna do. No, I'll show you. I'm gonna do the walk around, reach around.
Oh boy, this is exercise involved in this reach around, man.
All right,
this is a workout.
I can share this without his information or anything, but yeah. So
nice.
Nash's comic.
$3.
This is number 2. $3. Yeah.
Enterprising young man there. Nice kid.
Yep. And then I got the first issue too. Yeah.
Very cool.
So, yeah. He even sent me a nice little thank you, Tim card. Personalized card.
Look, he's got swords. He got a shield.
I know that looks like Rob beating the shit out of you during your battle.
Oh, please. We tied.
Although, now that I look at that, does that one shield look like it's got like a little middle finger on it?
Maybe. Yeah. He's laughing at somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, back in, it's got the date on it too, 2019.
Nice.
It's just him. So he drew a picture on one side with some stuff, and then just love it. I mean, we got an 8-year-old kid to do his own freaking zine series.
That's awesome. It's encouraging art, by little kids. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Do you see a change in the ethos of the zine scene? I mean, yes. I know the scene has changed these scenes are different based on the type of zine and the subculture is involved with, right? Punk rock and heavy metal or whatever.
Yeah,
it'll be different than a literary zine, for example. But at least in the OSR scene, which we're all most interested and familiar with, what is the early ethos, whatever, the aesthetic of the early OSR zine scene as opposed to now?
Well, there was more. When it first started, it was just basically zine, one point of view from that person. There wasn't too many zines. Well, there wasn't any zines that I know of at that time that were doing like 3 or 4 people. I started getting other people to do little pieces for friends to help me out with different things. Like I had Rob add some monsters, and I had some people like Chris, my one friend Chris. You gamed with him once or twice, Joe. He added some really cool.
Oh, he was in Scorn with us, wasn't he?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. That guy was cool.
He added a couple really nice articles in there. So I started getting other points of view. Well, and then Doug Cole and Peter. I can't remember Peter's last name offhand, but that's where Dungeon Grappling originated in my 8th zine. And so it basically featured him, that entire article and that. So that was the first time where I had somebody take over like the main part of the zine when I wrote that.
That's kind of cool, man.
But nowadays, there's definitely a ton more collaboration.
So
I
so
mean,
it went
there's
from
a
a
lot
solo
more.
enterprise to collaborative. How about the tone and style? Has that changed? I know the price has definitely changed. We're talking about that before the
Yeah,
show.
we'll talk about that too.
But
Okay, so here's one of the first. This is like the first zine for DDC or
yep, I have
DCC.
that. I bought
Crawl.
that one. Yeah.
And so the guy who wrote this, Reverend Dak, really cool guy, really good guy. And actually, he's the one who kind of taught me. He gave me, he educated because he's from California, and so there's definitely a better, probably more
hippie aesthetic out there.
Yeah, well, more zine friendly kind of atmosphere.
And
I didn't know
maybe
Pittsburgh
we
has
should,
a big zine too.
Tim, maybe we should note these zines, the early OSR zines for the audience who's new, maybe this is a decade before Zine Quest existed. This is a bunch of dudes in their basement printing up zines. All right, so
yeah, because I think mine first zine was 2010 or 11. And this one's April 2nd, 2000. Well, this is when he wrote the foreword, 2012. So it's probably soon after that.
Yeah.
And so what was fun about this, and we should get into this just real quick, is if you're a zinester dude, if you want to become one, get in connection and they'll trade zine for zine.
Yes.
They love doing that. Just love, doing that kind of thing. Now, those guys were from many years ago. Now, Dak did his, but again, he had people help him eventually too. And I could bring out zines all day long because I've got too many.
How many do you think you have? If you had to put a number on them, individual zines.
Probably 200 to 300.
All right.
And that's me curbing my
enthusiasm.
And that's it is actually, because man, I'll tell you what, I could have so many more. I mean, the one zine quest I had to not do it because I almost had to read them in the dark one year. I paid my electric bill, I was just buying them like crazy because there's just so many good things come out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no shortage of creativity. But then then a zine quest comes on. The zine, and if anybody doesn't know, it's been February. It's going to be February again this year. It was August one year for some reason. I don't know why Kickstarter decided to change it that one year. But it's like open game. They feature zines everywhere. But there's always zines for sale on Kickstarter. Yeah. But Zine Quest has kind of gentrified the zine scene.
Interesting. That's a good way to look at it too. I think you're right. That's a perfect word to use, dude.
It has all the zines now because when you're selling, if it's not like me where I was printing 50 at home.
Yeah.
Now, the first time I did a Kickstarter, I think I had like 598 folks who bought from me.
Yeah.
And 400 of them were print somewhere, over 400. And then I had orders for after it was done for distributors and different things. So I had to print up, and like I said, this was I didn't do this very well. I home printed them, and
I remember that. I remember all the text messages and everything that you were just raging.
Because my printer just couldn't handle it. But
and you use a Microsoft Publisher, which is giving you headaches too, right?
Yeah, because it would make things disappear. It was making my fucking art go away, or it was taking the bottom line of a table off, and it was just bizarre things it would do randomly. And then Ivy figured it out. Thank God. Yeah, I know. That's why.
That's why you marry her.
That's why they got done, or they would have never got done. Yeah, because I would still be printing them. But nowadays you have people who, so I was selling my manners for, Kristen Walker was selling his like for $350. What is that? Teas. I don't know how to say this. The Teas. Hey, welcome to Teas. Guidelines for going. They started off $3, $3.50.
Yeah.
Nowadays, don't be surprised if you go to Zine Question, you're going to have to pay like $20 average for a zine.
See, that's what gets me. I mean, I remember that.
Plus shipping. Then you're going to have to pay shipping on top of it.
Shipping on top of all that, right? $3, $4, $5, right? And so
you're going to be putting forth
Mhm.
probably, $25 for a zine these days.
See, you guys remember we did it was Matt and God damn it, stop smoking and drinking, Joe. Remember Matt did the art for the zine, the maps for the zine, and we did the whole 3-hour long show. Right, and we had this.
There?
Yeah, you were there. We were talking Zine Quest that lasted 3 goddamn hours. It was.
Yeah. And then Steve Cook came in and he was completely drunk.
Oh, he was drunk as shit.
He was hammered and
he was more drunk than me, which is saying something. He looked like Johnny Fever there in the chair right there.
Right,
he was out of it. That was a great show, actually. That was the most fun I've had.
So freaking fun.
But I was so lit because I took it as a personal insult that Steve was drunker than me, so I had to catch up. Right. And so all you bastards were talking about all this. I think I asked the question too. I screwed myself. I said, what zines are you all backing? And every one of them that you all said you're backing, I backed because I was drunk and stupid. And I ended up having like a $200 fucking zine bill that year. And I was just like, God damn it. Never again.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah, but the $200 zine fund that you had that year would only get you probably half the zines this year.
I know it was steep then. I mean, at this point, I'm being selective. People I know and trust, right? I mean, that's really it. I wouldn't.
We're talking about the gentrification and stuff.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a standard. I'm sorry. Let me get one.
Pull it out of the wrapper there. You can see the name of it. I have those as well.
Through Altan's Dorm by Ben Lawrence. He has a podcast called Mega Dungeon. Great podcast too.
Does he really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know. Is it a YouTube show as well, or just a podcast?
No, I think it's just on a podcast and everything. But Ben hand selects the paper that this gets printed on. It's some French paper, whatever, something. I remember when he told me, but now I can't remember. But
wow.
I mean, just amazing. I mean, it's expensive, but it's actually it's worth it. I mean, I paid a premium for them for zines back then, but I mean, it was worth it. I mean, Ben's work is fantastic. The artwork's phenomenal. Just everything about it is fantastic.
But Tim, where is the line drawn between a zine and a magazine? You know what I mean? When you get to something of the quality of Alton's, whatever the hell, I forget what it's called.
Right. Alton's Door.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then let's imagine it was regular magazine size, right? I mean, because most zines are small, digest or whatever the hell, right?
Don't have to be though.
They don't have to be, true. But I mean, most are for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Now, if you compare that to the old, remember the Gygax magazine that came out in the early OSR days, a few issues and all that. What is the difference between Gygax magazine and a zine? Other than the fact that Gygax had more contributors than a zine did, because what you're seeing now,
that line's getting blurred.
That's what I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean it's getting to the point because our technology today is getting to the point where, let's face it, the OSR is publishing better stuff than the big publishers' stuff. Big things. Yeah. Or even our quality is better. I mean, while I'm not a huge fan of Lamentations of the Flame Princess and stuff like that, but you cannot deny the quality that he puts into his book is just phenomenal.
They're fantastic.
I mean, it's just in the way Jim curates his books and the way he just meticulous. I remember watching a video with him I think it was Doomfrost or something like that.
Deathfrost Doom. That was
Doom.
That was his most famous. Yeah.
Yeah. But he did it in the book format, and the publisher sent him back, but it had the end pages were the wrong color.
Yeah.
And he wanted his particular, and so he sent them all back because they weren't right. And it's just.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a perfectionist. He really is.
Yeah. I mean, and it just the stuff that he puts out is just like, if you're going to get something through that, but that's the way it is with zines these days.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting to the point, like you have your choice of printing companies online that will do your stuff for it. I mean, there's more than I can name. There's just so many different ones, and they all are getting more flexible and more, what do you want to call it? More flexible, more able to customize for each individual's, that now pretty much your limitation is what you can think of.
Yeah.
Really, and creating things. I mean, there's this.
That's kind of cool, man. I'm not in the publishing end of things. I just kind of consume,
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Metaphor for
Joe,
my life,
if you ever
really.
decide, maybe one day I'll drag you into one.
I was just thinking that, dude. We got to do one. Why don't we do this? Why don't we commit to finishing your current zine that I'm editing?
Yeah, I got to finish Kickstarter.
We're going to do that.
My Kickstarter has got to be number one. Yeah. I know, because I'm going to fail. Because here's the other thing. This was another thing I learned. We'll just kind of swerve into this real quick.
Yeah.
Is even though a zine's kind of smallish and stuff, it's, to me, it's an intense time period of where I am then or now, or at that time.
Okay.
And I think what happened to me with this Kickstarter,
like an album, really, it's like an album. It's a statement of the time and the place you're at. Yeah.
But what happened to me is I was so into it, and I was getting everything done so fast, and and I was really grooving on it and got all this stuff, and then the dominoes started falling.
Yeah.
It was Jason wasn't able to help finish the thing, had to find a new artist.
Yep.
Got delays on delays, and then I got so sick, and then
Yeah.
I thought I was getting better, but I wasn't, and then it delayed it any further. And then now where I'm feeling better, still not back to where I was. I have a lot less energy than what I used to have, but I'm just not where I was when I started, started that. So I've been trying to go back. Now,
not just energy wise, but you're talking about it in terms of your mindset. It's like picking up a short story 10 years later, basically, and trying to get into all right, when I was 10 years younger, I thought and acted and understood things in a certain way. And that influenced the first half of the short story. Now, 10 years older, I'm going back to, it's not been 10 years, but going back to finish a short story.
Trust me.
I'm sure it does. Yeah. But I mean, you're finishing something with you're a different person, essentially. Especially with what you've gone through, not to get into details, but you've been through a lot, right? So, I mean, it just changes you as a human being. And so you got to go back into your old shoes as who you were then, finish it off in that style when you're not that person anymore. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things I've been fighting without knowing it.
Yeah. No, I get it, dude.
So
we should do. Why don't we? I mean, I'm ready to go. Not this. So it happens every February. The Zine Quest, right? This year we're gonna finish off yours, and then why don't we commit right now? Next year, you and I will do a fucking zine. We'll start in the summer, and then we will finish it by Zine Quest, and then it will be ready to fucking go by then. Sound good?
Yeah, because the next time I do anything near Kickstarter, I'll have everything written. Everything will be done. Everything will. Even the samples will be done, and the only thing I'll have to do is when the Kickstarter's done is go ahead and push the print button and be done. And
that's it. And the funny thing is that you said that after the last Kickstarter, just before the most recent Kickstarter. I remember clearly you saying those words. Next time I do a Kickstarter, it's all going to be done first.
I know. You know what happened to me there? Okay, so I think it was Zine Quest 3. And I wasn't going to do one, but I started that RPG zine group, and we had a lot of, it was getting real popular, and and this was myself, it wasn't anybody else. I thought, man, it would be kind of a stupid for me not to not do Zine Quest. Since I'm the leader of this group, I need to do this. So I pressured myself into doing it.
Even though you weren't ready.
So when I came up, but I had everything really there. And you remember when it first coming up, I was banging out stuff. Right. Yeah. I mean, I had almost everything written before the end of September.
It's good stuff.
Close to it.
Yeah.
And
then the health thing hit.
Well, then the artist thing
hit first.
Was the first banger thing on me. But now that I've gone through this, and I just realized what would have been stupider is do Zine Quest and not get it done on time. So unfortunately, lesson learned. Too bad. It's just at the cost of some unfortunate folks who
Mhm.
some have been very patient and some are, just kind of done with me, and I completely understand that. I get
But
that.
when you put it out, it'll be good. That's the thing. Even though I know
I
that
do. I
Reggie-
definitely. I want it to be a good, fun. I want people to
Yeah.
be able to use it, have fun with it, because I don't want to just put something out that's done.
Yeah. You're
know.
not going to publish it just to publish it. I think that
No.
who was it? Fucking Neil. Neil, what's his name? Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Neil Young,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
He was under contract with, I don't know, Atlantic or whatever record company.
Right.
He had to do X amount of records, and the last record, I think, in a contract, I think he named it "Piece of Shit" because that's what it was. He just had to publish something to get it out.
Just done. Yeah.
That is not Tim. What I've seen what he has so far. I've edited. It's good. It's coming. And this isn't the whole thing to pump Tim's products and materials, but I think it's a good segue, Tim, to the sort of maybe the final stage of the conversation. We promised him the history of it. We've gone over that in depth, the ins and outs, the styles, and everything else.
Mhm.
But so right now we just committed to doing the Zine Quest, me and you, next year. We're going to start this summer, right? And so by by February we will have the zine done. Okay, art, printing, layout, everything else will be done, right?
Yep.
So that means you tell me, what am I in for? Which is also a good lesson for everybody out there right now who's saying, fuck it, this is good. I want to make a zine of my own.
Right.
What am I in for? What are they in for? What do you need to know? Give me the ins and outs. I'm I am I'm first grade level here. So what do I need to know to make my own zine? All right.
Okay. I guess. All right. This is going to sound horrible, but prepare yourself for failure.
He says that before every adventure in the Comore Forest, boys and girls. So, as a DM, this is the very first words out of his mouth every session. So,
did you bring a second character with you? Okay.
You don't have 10 red shirts?
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, don't worry about
it. Yeah. No. I mean, because some folks go in there with an expectation. Because here's a weird thing is sometimes not meeting, like, say you want to sell or get like 400, 500 backers, and you only reach 100. It's a pretty down thing. Set your goals accordingly.
So this is this is for Kickstarter. You're talking, right?
Yeah, this is for Kickstarter. That's what especially if you're a first timer. I'm kind of saying it for you. Like I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Not someone who's really, because like with like Levi Combs and those guys, some other guys who do amazing zines like Glenn Seal and those guys, they're going to do as many numbers. They know their stuff. They're going to sell massive amounts and stuff.
I mean, you're talking Johnny Fever here. Look at this guy. He's ready.
Johnny Fever.
He's ready for failure. He's good.
Yeah. Well, it just set your expectations to more manageable.
Okay.
Like when I first started, basically I think my goal was $100. I figured I would do 100, but what I wanted to get was $500 for my first Kickstarter. And what's worse than doing less than your Kickstarter goal is doing way, way more than you expected. Then it gets really scary.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh shit. Because
a lot of money to handle, a lot of stuff to make.
I couldn't even imagine if like I had a Kickstarter like Kelsey had. Shadow Dark.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I have no freaking clue.
Yeah. You just committed to $1 million of stuff.
Right. I'm out. I was like, oh my God, I got to get somebody. I would have to pay someone else to come in and handle it because I wouldn't know what to do. Yeah. But just to have fun with it, really. I mean, do the work, have fun. Don't worry about what other people want. Do what you want.
And now this applies. My initial question, Tim, was about making zines. You're jumped into the Kickstarter point, but now you're getting back to the general applies to whether you're Kickstartering this thing or not. How to make a zine? What are you in for? That's what you're saying. Do what you want to do. Make it your expression, right?
You gotta, because you're marrying this project for the next. I mean, it depends on how fast you write and get artwork and stuff, but you're married to this project for the next few. Rob says that sounds familiar because I used to bang him over the head with that.
You're
just-
marrying the Kickstarter for a long time.
Yeah, you're going to be there for a while, and you got to really like it, and you got to enjoy it yourself, and and I think what's really important is you've got to be able to surprise yourself with what you're doing sometimes.
Interesting.
So
don't go in there with any expectations in terms of what you want to make, or do you go in with a plan? Do you
even the
have
writing? I'm talking about the writing, the whole. Give yourself the room to. You're going to be creative.
Yeah.
But there's also that element of wonder.
Yeah,
You have to play with. I know I'm getting real flimsy whimsy.
No, that's good. This is interesting to people, I think,
But like
to me,
when I was writing Hunters of Death,
Mhm.
I didn't know exactly how it was going to work. I had like an idea, but then I didn't know how they were going to work it. But then I started finding out is I could start weaving this shit together. I could take this adventure, and I had adventure ties in with just the freaking wandering monster table.
Yeah.
So while it wasn't, what do you want to call it? You didn't need it to complete an adventure, but if you did encounter this wandering monster before the adventure, it would definitely give you some sort of like information or advantage or something that would influence that adventure if you went through. And then being able to weave all that stuff together, I didn't know it was going to work out like that, and I really liked that part of it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I didn't see it coming either, because I was reviewing, I think, bits and pieces a little bit at the time on that one, and so it's like, oh, this is cool. It all hangs together, I wish, and I wish all of you people would implore Tim to do this. He has so much shit he's produced on his Patreon, literally hundreds of different items, and they're all set somewhere in the Comor Forest. This needs to be a goddamn setting, Tim. This needs to be a setting. My God, put it out, integrate it. You have the
all right. So I have to finish the one I have right now.
Yeah,
and I want to do one next year.
Yep.
So
integration. After that, we will integrate all your stuff.
If I'm alive, we'll talk about it.
He'll be alive, God damn it. We got to figure it out. So, all right. So now, in terms of so that's the aesthetic overhead, the high level view of things. So, number one, prepare for disappointment on Kickstarter. Way to encourage the group.
No, I mean, I honestly, you have to, because I don't know how many times people do Zine Quest. Maybe they don't get funded, or they just don't get the draw of it.
Yeah.
All right. One of the things here's some of my advice, even though I don't have a lot. Get somebody to do a kick-ass cover. A cover will sell more. Your cover is going to sell more than your blog or your text. I mean, people are going to see that stuff, and they're going to. But another thing is
so have that before the Kickstarter so that you can show
have that cover ready to go, whether you make it or not.
Okay.
And if you don't succeed on it, don't stop.
Okay.
I mean, you can sell that on your own. You put it out on, there's Drive Through RPG. Sell it on your blog. Sell it on Etsy. Print them up because you can sell them on Etsy. If you have an Amazon store or something like that, you can sell it on your Amazon. You can still do well with this stuff, but don't stop making just because because it didn't maybe succeed the way you wanted, or maybe you didn't get funded. Keep going. You can't let that frustrate you. But the other thing is on top of that is you just have to be willing to put yourself out there too. Be willing to get on social media and be called a spammer. People are even if you put out 2 things, people are still going to call you a spammer. It just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be a jerk and put out 9 posts of your Kickstarter in the same group.
Yeah.
Spread it around like Joe does. Joe Blake, he carpet bombs everything.
I do. I try to get. I mean, it works out well because
it does. It still has results, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Because look at what I have right now. I look at my channel. Right, I have. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me see here. I have a lot. I call it punching above my weight. Right. I have 2,064 subscribers or whatever it is. Right. On 80 videos, right? There's a lot of people who have 2,000 videos with 3,000 subscribers. And I spam the living shit out of everything. I hit all of social media. I spent months and months subscribing, and I would go through Facebook and just
You did the work.
I did the work. I
that's
friended everything.
Yeah.
I created the MeWe groups. I spammed that. I spammed Twitter.
Yep.
I friended. What I did was I started, Tim, with your groups. I went on your Instagram and friended everybody in your groups, and then I friended their friends and their friends. And same thing with you and Eric. I did the same thing on Facebook, right? Because I figured that's a common denominator. So I spammed the living shit out of it. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to look up D&D, and any group that has D&D in its title with more than 2,000 members, I'm going to join. I joined 60 D&D groups, and now I have
60.
And I spammed them all. I just recently this week, because I got tired of spamming everybody, I unsubscribed to like 40 of them. And now I'm just on some of the, I'm not on D&D Edmonton, Canada anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not on Erie, Pennsylvania D&D local group, whatever. But that's the bottom line. I punch above my weight with my views and my subscribers. For 80 videos, I got a decent level of subscribers. I mean, like most YouTubers, you languish for 10 years until you do one video that, for whatever the fuck reason, hits the algorithm or the zeitgeist just right, and you got 1 million views. The next thing you know, you're a fucking, critical drinker level shit, right? But you got to do the work ahead of time to get to that.
You got to do the work, yeah.
I mean, so someday I'll pop.
Yeah, you just gotta, do the work with that on top of it, and do podcasts. Get on a couple podcasts. Get on a YouTube show.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because I mean, getting exposed will only help you and everything. And sometimes, and unfortunately with Zine Quest, you have such a short time, because they usually only let you run it for. I mean, in true Zine fashion, a lot of the guys break the rules anyways, how they do stuff. But no, it's okay. I mean, that's what it's for. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. But usually you're supposed to only run it for 2 weeks. That's what they want you to do, which I think is the sweet spot for Zine Quest.
Yeah.
And so make sure you have podcasts and YouTube things lined up maybe a little bit ahead of time, because you don't have a lot of time once it starts rolling. And then the other thing is to I just thought of just shut out of my head shit. A
lot of introverts out there, Tim. I mean, you're scaring many people. A lot of introverted writers out there. So
well, some people can do it without doing it. This will help and everything. That's oh shoot, I forgot.
You're saying put yourself out there and publicize yourself, and maybe 2 week window.
Yeah, I think I had something to do. Oh, yeah, that's right. And if you're going to do Zine Quest, make sure you get in the beginning of the month. Some people want to wait till the end of the month. Don't do that. Everybody spent their budget.
Okay.
Because I can't tell you how many. If you look, and this is just my kind of experience with it, when I've looked at people who started their Kickstarters on Zine Quest in the beginning of the month compared to the ones who did it on the latter half of the month, much more traffic during the beginning of the month. There's so much excitement. There's so much. Everybody's got their budget.
Yeah, that's true. Monthly budget. I have $50 to spend. Yeah.
And then the middle of the month, you're getting Zine fatigue. Everybody,
Zine fatigue. I like that.
Zine fatigue. People are tired, getting a little tired of hearing about it, getting tired. They spent their money. They know if they, spend one more.
Yeah, their wife will beat their
another
ass.
Zine. The wife is going to
it's all over.
Pan, kind of deal.
And Ivy has cast iron, so you got to watch out. I've seen her cast iron. That shit hurts.
Yeah. No,
that's why he's this nook. Those walls are against
She would just let me buy what I wanted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she wouldn't. She wouldn't.
Is that because it justifies another cast iron pan? It's like credits in the bank of cast iron.
She just. I just spent too much.
I've seen her cast iron collection. I don't know how that I don't know how your house survives without collapsing in on itself with the weight of the cast iron alone, dude. That's a lot of cast iron in that place, man.
She's giving away some, but you got to watch out for that. But no, I mean, those are definitely things I've seen through the years with that. And Zine fatigue is a real thing. People, and it happens around middle of February. People just get tired of hearing about it. But it gets exciting in the beginning of the month because there's not much going on. It's February. Christmas has been over for a while. People have rejuvenated their funding from spending all on the Christmas gifts. Now they're ready to start rolling again.
A little
You
bit
know,
extra
so
money. Yeah.
yeah. And if you really get a good combination of a good cover, some good artwork, a good idea that people are gonna, and try to think of something maybe a little bit different than normal.
Okay.
Um,
Now, would
it's
you
easier said than
recommend
done.
that, let's say John Doe, Jane Doe are out there and they're like, God, this is inspiring. I want to do something like this. I've been thinking about
Mhm.
zines. I want to make a zine. I'm not sure if I want to do Zine Quest yet or not, but I want to put something out there. Would you recommend that most people who haven't done a zine should do a personal zine, a small print run, whatever, prior to Zine Quest? Or would you
Yeah,
say
that's
jump
actually,
in?
yeah, no, that's actually real good advice. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
especially to see if they can complete it.
Complete
Because
it.
while
Yeah. Yeah.
zines are small
Mm-hmm.
and they are, they're unintimidating.
Yeah.
They're very manageable bites of
Mm-hmm.
writing and art
Mm-hmm.
and different things. They're still kind of intense. I mean, they're still like
Yeah.
this little tiny intense TNT stick that
Yeah. Yeah.
that can still blow up in your face if you're
Yeah.
not careful, like mine.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an excellent idea. Go do. I mean, Etsy's a good place to sell your zine. They have a whole
Okay.
zine
Is it
section.
really? I didn't know that.
And yeah. I mean, because I sell mine on there. I mean, I don't
Okay.
ton of money or anything, but sell it on RPG drive through. The only thing about RPG drive through is just everything gets swallowed so fast that
Yeah.
it's not like the
Yeah.
old days when we had
No exposure.
RPG Now.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It catered more to the smaller print
Yep.
folks.
Yep.
So if I put something out, it would stay on the front page for a little bit
Okay.
longer. Like back in the day, like I think I hit #1 on bestsellers a couple times, and I was on the
Really?
top 10 with every single one of my zines.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But except for James Spawn once in a while kept me off the #1 spot. So
Bastard. That
yeah, I
bastard.
know. It's son of a hobbit bitch.
Hobbit bitch, no less.
Yes.
Son of a short, hairy bitch.
but if there's no way I would be able to even manage being on the front page more than
Yeah.
20 minutes, depending on who's posting on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just disappears. It gets swallowed up in the massive amounts of content that gets put on there because they've got bigger publishers and that they're more popular, that will, because when they get the #1 spot, like say Kevin Crawford comes out with a new book, he's going to hold the #1 spot for months. It's
Really?
not going to move. Yeah. Yeah. If you get sometime, if you ever do a study of a market or just, your own little research, I mean, it's always good to do this to see how it works.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not just only on the front page, but like because each one has its own particular page. Like you can look up OSR stuff and it'll bring up the top 10 OSR stuff. Check that out. See how that works. See who's selling, what specific maybe tags that are going to be more favorable to sell your product.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So
All right.
I guess it's like its own little mini, was it search engine optimization kind of thing?
Yeah.
SEO,
right.
I believe it's called now.
Dude, yeah, right. Jesus. I think it's an hour and a half. We usually say we're going to go an hour, but let's end with one question for you, because I'm a huge fan of that movie, John Cusack, High Fidelity, the record guy. Remember him?
Yes.
Remember that movie? They were infamous for sitting around the record store talking about top 5, whatever the fuck, right? Top 5 blues, top 5, whatever, so. Tim,
yes, I remember that.
Here's the question. Top 5 zines to take on a desert island with you for 20 years. What are you bringing? Yours can't count your own, you egoist. But if it wasn't your stuff, top 5 zines or zine lines. You could say Leviatar. You could say.
I was gonna say I don't know if I could pick zines because a lot of them are series.
Yeah. So you could say Leviatar for his 10 or 12 or 15 or whatever, right? So Dungeon Crawl or Crawl Zine or whatever it is. What are the top 5 zines you're bringing on a desert island?
Wow.
Because this is a good purchase list, guys. All right. And while you contemplate this on the Tree of Woe, God damn it, I broke the seal. I got to take a leak again. So, Tim, let's take it away.
Oh, man. Now you're just going to have me sitting here thinking for a while. I guess I'd have to take Lovitar. Definitely, that was my original. And I'd take Ben Lawrence's Through All Tan's Door. It's just such a good series of zines. I believe Old Tan's Door is still for sale, not as a physical product, but I think as a PDF. And Christians, you can't get anymore, unfortunately. Actually, one of the ones I like is Jack Shear's, and I don't know if he has, because these are only print too. Strahd Loves Man.
All right. So is this number 1?
This is number 9. He had 9.
I mean, is this your first choice for the Desert Island?
No. Lovitar would be my first one.
Okay, Leviathan.
Then Ben
right.
Lawrence's Through All Tan's Door here.
All right. Okay.
And then I believe Jack Shear. I don't know. Do you remember Jack Shear back in the day?
No, the name is vaguely familiar.
He's the one who, oh man, he wrote like America or like America.
Apostrophe
yeah.
M.
Yeah. And then he wrote like they were demonic versions and stuff. Yeah, it's just had some real good books back in the old OSR days. And these he sold like last year and through the things. I love these things because there's nothing fancy about them.
Yeah.
There's nothing fancy.
Here, let me Tim, if you click the 3 little dots in your name, right, you can click solo layout. Like look at your picture in the top right corner. There you go. There you go. Oh, yeah. Strahd Loves Man Kills.
Yeah. And they're just paper. There's no heavy cardstock. It's simple. The artwork is very basic, but I absolutely love these things. These have been sold recently, but they harken back to the beginning. That's why I really like them so much.
So number 1, Leviathan. Number 2, All Tan's Door. Number 3, Strahd Loves Man Kills.
Yes.
Okay.
Who else?
I am completely pulling a Jack Black on you here. Not a Jack White, a Jack Black, with the top 5. I gotta watch that movie again. It was a great fucking movie, man.
Yeah. Like I said, Lovitar's not for sale anymore, though.
Nope.
And then I said Jack Shear his was only physical. He didn't release a PDF version, and I think he sold out of most of them. But
as it should be, because I kind of agree with that. I like that aesthetic of it. I really do. I gotta say.
But you can always get a hold of them. I don't know. Stormlord Publishing put out some stuff.
Okay.
What? They had a series. It wasn't a true series. They did individual zines, but I liked all their zines.
Okay.
It was really, really good.
Stormlord Publishing. Who was behind that? Who was behind that group?
Don Stroud and
Stormlord Publishing. Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's Carl Bassler, Eric Hoffman.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Actually, they're the ones who did these
DCC.
The zine vaults.
They're DCC guys. It looks like
they're DCC guys, and even though I'm not a DCC guy, their content is very playable.
Okay.
No matter what.
Okay. All right. So we got 4.
And I guess the 5th one. I'm trying to. There's so many that just go through my head. Jeez.
Yeah, that's I caught. I did not, as you can tell, guys. We don't prep before this shit. I wanted a few questions to take Tim by surprise, so I'm really looking for the struggle here. I'm interested in this.
Here. There was this. Let me see if I have all my. These are just my other zines that I have close by hand.
These are only the Rob Reach Roundables.
Yeah,
there's many in storage probably somewhere.
Yeah, well, like I told Joe, like on the other side of this computer is a 3 bookshelf filled with hundreds of zines, and these are the ones that made the vault. I have 11 of these.
Yeah, that what you call that area? Your nook is the vault.
Vaults.
The zine vault. Okay.
Yeah, these are called zine vaults.
All right.
I don't know. I think. All right. I'll tell you what. I'll go with Steve C's. I like Steve's a lot too. Steve Cooks.
Okay. Good. Yeah, they was really good. I mean, Maps sucked balls, but the adventure was good. I mean, it was really a good adventure. Matt Jackson's map just was like, prehistoric in style, but other than that,
it was horrible.
It was shit.
Matt, you gotta throw him a bone once in a while. So,
Someone's got to.
Right. Well, we went over today, didn't we?
What's that?
We went way over today.
We did go way over. It was a good topic, I think, man. It was a good topic. All right, so we got Steve's in there. Excellent, excellent. Good deal, guys. Hey, we have still some people watching, believe it or not. We have 11.
We got 9 watching or something?
9 on mine and 2 on yours, it looks like. So, yeah. Yeah, this is good. We still have a crowd. Unless they passed out and fell asleep,
Right,
and they're just still watching. I mean, we do attract an older crowd, right? So, it could be just they're passed out or diabetic coma or some other nonsense.
And guys, if anybody out there, who watches this or is watching this, wants to do a zine or has, just wants to know, join the RPG Zine group on Facebook. It's really good. I mean, I'm not saying that because I run it. I'm actually thinking about giving it to somebody else to run because I think it deserves someone better to oversee it and everything, get it more lively in there. And I just don't do enough. And I'm a horrible person on getting Facebook. But if you are thinking, because it's a really good group. Everybody who's in there, they're really helpful. If you have questions, that's like people just swarm and just willing to share information. And everybody stays positive there. I mean, I've had that group open for over 3 years now. I think it's 3 years now. And I've only had to throw out one person for being a jerk. And I think I've only had to delete 2 comments. And that's it that I know of.
Before you made it private invite only, whatever the hell. I remember you made me a mod, I think it was last year, because there was like Russian spam bots attacking you or something.
Yeah, I mean, we did get, we were getting just.
But that's cleared out. There's no more. It's a private, it's a nice group. It's good people.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to go private instead of public.
It's okay.
But we just
ask for an invite,
Well, do you have to get invited to it then?
I think you can request to be a member, but you have to be approved by answering questions, all that kind of thing. Same as MeWe, Yeah. So it's good. It's a good group, though, man. It's fun.
It's a real good group. I mean, and everybody's very helpful there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who know a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
Various things on there because you got some big time guys who are publishing constantly, consistently, and for other people. And those guys know a whole hell of a lot about, like, if you want to get your zine out there, like what's his name, Zach Coins. He helps distribute mine out there to different things, or kind of he's the one who goes to different conventions and sell. Like he buys zines from you and then takes them to conventions and takes kickback of what he sells, and then you get a portion of it and everything.
Speaking of which, prior to the show, Tim and I were talking. I think I got Tim to commit to not only going to ShireCon next year, but to bringing zines with him. Is that accurate?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can see doing that. I zines and micro adventures and
might as well pay for the trip, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to see. I have to get a new printer.
Yeah.
My printer's like on its last legs now, so I kind of ran it through the ringer.
Is it the original Epson printer you talked about in your 2013 post? You're still dealing with that 11-year-old printer?
Actually, this is the second version of that.
Okay.
I actually got a different one, same but different. Same model, different one, but I had to go through 4 different printers before I got to this one. Quick story, it's very fucking funny. So I'm getting frustrated talking to Epson. So Ivy gets on the phone.
Oh. Ivy's from Jersey. Let's just preface this with Ivy's from Jersey.
Well, not only is she's from Jersey, she's Hungarian, and she's a redhead. So take that for what you will.
That's the triple threat. So
So she's talking to one person. She's not getting the answer that she wants. So she goes, "Let me talk to your supervisor." And
Ivy's middle name is Karen? I didn't know that.
So she's not getting the answer. She wants the supervisor, and he goes, "Well, I'll have to connect you to Luther." And I laughed so hard when this happened. So the guy answers when
poor
answers
Luther.
the phone, and Ivy goes, Hello, Luther. I just said it in
I
such
could
a like
just
a
hear that.
demonic tone of voice.
I could
Oh,
just
it was
hear her
so
tone of voice
funny.
saying that too. That's fantastic.
Oh God!
Oh,
And
that's fucking
guess what?
fantastic.
I got a brand new printer. They didn't give me a
Oh,
refab one. I got
poor
like
Luther.
$200 worth of free ink.
Oh my God.
I mean, I basically got the Jersey special
Poor Luther.
handed in my door. So
Poor Luther. That poor bastard. He's probably still in
Luther,
therapy, dealing with the fucking repercussions of that shit.
yeah, Rob. I know. I saw your new printer. That's going to be on my list of ones to look at to
Yeah.
possibly upgrade. So
Yeah, but Rob, what was that? I mean, Rob, I know you're going to get a boner off a type of this, but what is the printer and the specs? What do you have there, and what does it go for, man? Because Rob just bought a massive, awesome, cool printer for. It prints out big ass maps and everything else, so it's kind of nice. Yeah, large fonts, I love a large paper size rather, and good color and all that stuff. So he's furiously typing right now. The only reason I ask is I'm imagining Rob furiously typing right now all the stats and specs of this thing. You can't click a link in there, Rob, though. So, but yeah, Tim, you said you might get the same thing he has, right?
Yeah, possibility. Yeah,
That's
I'm
good.
going to look at options, but I really liked the specs of the one Rob got. It's an Epson too. And I've had a lot of good luck with Epsons, and I think they still have.
Yeah.
I still think they do the best picture quality for home printers.
Yeah. I just have a basic Brother printer here. It's decent for what I randomly use it for, bullshit stuff. But yeah, I don't. But I mean, Tim, what are we going to do then? So we have a Kickstarter. Tim and I have announced that not this February, but next February, we have a Kickstarter. It will be made and completed before the Kickstarter starts. So that's a good thing. Now we just got to think of a theme. If you guys have any ideas for a theme for this Kickstarter,
we got to do that, Joe. That's
we got to do that.
That's our thing. That's our thing.
Really? So this is the kind of stuff I wanted to know. All right. So this
remember,
is the theme.
Zine's your own personal experience. You gotta just own it. You gotta,
keywords, ideas. You don't even look for that. You just say this is fucking me, 100,000% me, nobody else.
Right. You just go.
All right. All right. So
especially since it's going to be your first one, you're going to be taking the lead.
I'm interested in how we're going to do this. Do we want to merge our styles, or do we got to do two separate things within one? That's interesting. We got to figure it out. That's interesting, right? I mean, set in the Coldmore Forest makes sense, correct? I mean, that kind of right in the same creepy, weird, scary shit. So I would write stuff about the Coldmore Forest from the point of view of the victim, and Tim will write about it from the point of view of the oppressor, right? So, so yeah, that should be good. It should be interesting. Be a merge of the oppressor and victim. It should be like a very psychologically thrilling thing.
We have a weird thing happening, Joe. The longer we go, the more people are getting to watch. It's
really
strange.
Maybe Tim, dude. Maybe if you start at 9:00, man. Honestly,
I know.
I know. I got to go to work early tomorrow too. 13 watching on my stream. Yeah, you're right. I wonder if that's going to be an interesting. If it's going to pick up on the replays. But it was a good show, man. We went long, an hour and 45 instead of an hour, like we were saying we did. So yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody has any zine questions, just throw them in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. We both respond.
And if I don't know it, I'll get somebody else who knows how to help Rob finish his index.
Yeah, index is done.
I'll be happy to answer any questions. And if, like I said, if I don't know the answers, trust me, I'm not one to bullshit the answers. I'll get, tell you I don't know and steer you to somebody who may.
Don't ask me, ask Tim. I don't know shit about zines, as you can tell from this podcast there from the show. So, but guys, I mean, that's a good way to end it, I think, right, Tim? I mean, I think it's good. Thank you all for watching this long.
Is there a zine, Flint Fireforge? What they do sometimes, Flint, is there's so many zines. It's not a list. What they'll do is people will collect lists for Kickstarter, like Zine Quest, and people will do like a spreadsheet of it. They'll tell you the name of the zine, who writes it, what system they use it, and how much it is, or something like that.
It's like an old bookseller's sort of guidebook in a sense. Remember those things?
Right, but as far as like a complete like kind of collection of zines, oh gosh, no, because the difficult thing about zines is so many of them go out of print so quick. You do have a lot of those that, because I mean, half the zines, probably more than half the zines I have you can't get anymore.
Yeah.
Because they just did a print run, and once
See,
they sell what they sell, they're done.
That's what I like about the print only rather than PDF. PDF lasts forever. Print only means you got to get it while you can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Joe, that's something like, you can do. You can, like, even on a Kickstarter, you can limit the amount of pledges you take too.
That's true.
If you wanted to do like because like in January they have this thing called I think it's called 100 make 100, and so basically you make 100 things and you just sell them on Kickstarter.
Huh. Interesting.
That's it. And when they're done, they're done. There's no more. 101.
That's pretty cool, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they do that in January, and then that goes right into Zine Quest.
If I were ever to do my own thing, I would just pass them out probably at conventions. Here, take this, take that. People I knew. I bring 50 with me and just hand them around, because I know it wouldn't be, I'm intimidated a bit by the higher level quality gentrification standards of this whole zine scene, right? I mean, I know I could do the old style stuff because it's like, simpler, right? So I wouldn't feel like I could even charge for mine as compared to like Old Tan's Door and shit like that, right? I'm like, oh God, this guy's charging this, and what am I going to charge?
I mean, Joe, okay, yeah, this is like high level.
This is a penthouse, yeah,
but it doesn't mean you can't do both. It doesn't mean yours is not any good. Just because you're watching professional hockey doesn't mean you can't go out and play hockey. Doesn't mean you can't do that different. It shouldn't stop you from doing it, or it shouldn't stop you from, if you want to make some pocket change for beer money at a convention to throw like a handful of zines down on the table, do it. But you should also keep a handful of zines just to pass around.
Yeah, that's
whoever,
what I would do. That's probably
it's okay.
what I would do.
It's all right to do both.
Yeah. Are we going to do the Manor 10, Tim? Is this going to be Manor X?
Well, like I said, I'm not really thinking about that because now you're just getting me into 100 different projects tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You got me doing this. So Manor 10, no, it's not in the forecast until I get the many crypts of Lady Ingrate done.
That's coming.
And completed.
That'll be done.
You're right. And once that one's done, then I can start thinking about other things. Because I want to get my Patreon kicking back up again because I really enjoy doing my adventures.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it's becoming. I'm getting a lot more people following it again.
Really?
I don't know where they. I think Daniel Bishop mentioned me in his his Bandits Keep.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I met him unfortunately too briefly at ShardCon.
Yeah.
And he mentioned me in how to build a sandbox campaign or something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, because he said go over to mine and use the micro adventures to kind of fill in some hexes and different things. So it was really, really cool of him to mention me. So I'm thinking that's where I'm getting, because he's got a nice following over there. So.
Yeah. I mean, Professor Dungeon has to throw a shout out to Eric, and he got like 800 subs in like a couple days. I mean, that's how shit like that works, Yeah.
But Flint, like what I'll do is like because I was going to talk to Joe about this, but I'll say it here now, is like once we get into Zine Quest in February and everything, we might we'll try to have some cool zines maybe we're looking at. And if I can find the link to whoever does that kind of thing, I'll make sure we include it in the
show notes,
links and
cool.
whatnot. And we'll try to give you guys as much information as we can about Zine Quest. We're not going to do what Eric did that one year, and I think he had what did he do an interview like every.
That was rough. Yeah, that was a hard. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, he was kicking. He was kicking ass on those interviews, but that was a lot.
That was a lot.
And
he hasn't done.
I think that was even before he was. No, that wasn't before he was retired. It was right after. I think he retired, close to it.
Yeah.
No, you're welcome, Clint. Yeah, and if there's anything else, like I said, just leave it in the comments or something like that. We'll definitely try to get you the information.
Yeah. A good way to wrap it up. Flint and Fireforge, saying the last word in the chat there. I love that fucking book series. I really.
I was gonna say, was that Dragonlance?
It was. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It has been a while, but it still stands out because I always identify with. All right, here's a question: who did you identify with in the Dragonlance books? I was so Raceland. Who did you identify with the most, Tim? Completely off topic, but I'm just kind of interested now. I gotta say it.
Gosh, it's been so long since I.
Right? You had Tanis Half Elven, you had
right.
Flint Fireforge, you had Tasselhoff Burrfoot, you had who else? We had Caraman, the brother.
What was the guy that went with the really good looking Moonflower? What was her name?
Oh, he was the barbarian dude who went with Gold Moon, was it? Oh shit. Flint Fireforge.
Gold Moon. That was her name, wasn't it? Gold Moon?
Gold Moon was hot. Yeah, according to the art,
Yeah.
at least. According to Larry Elmore art,
go,
she was hot.
I don't remember his name, but I'm going to go with the guy that was with her.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you because she was fucking smoking.
Right.
You know,
I mean, I don't remember what his name is. I don't remember what he did, but all I know is he was with her, so I'm good with that.
So it's interesting because you went for the hot, priestly, nice kind of, chick. And who attracted me in that book? Kitiara. She was a psychopath lunatic. I always go for crazy. I always go for crazy like that. Tanis went with her. Remember that? Yeah.
Wait, Tanis was? I thought that was Carmen.
Caraman's sister, half sister, but Tanis went for her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're forgetting the shipping of this whole book, Tim. I can't believe it. My God. But
I read it when it first came out. I can't remember too much. I just remember there was an advertisement in Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I took out that advertisement and I put it on my door so I'd know what day it came out.
Yep.
I ran up to B. Dalton's and I grabbed the book.
Fucking B.
And
Dalton.
then I just, B. Dalton's. And then I put it on my nightstand because I knew the next day I had a half day of school.
Yeah.
And it was just weird. All I cared about all day is I just wanted to go. I knew I was going to come home and I was going to read that book.
Yep.
And that's what I did. I got home, even though it was nice out, and usually I ran around like a maniac. And like all I wanted was to sit down and read that book, and I probably read half the book in one setting. That's awesome. It was. I don't know. I think that was the first book I really blissed out on.
Yeah, I think for me it was the Belgariad. I remember getting those 5 books, the first 5 for Christmas one year. 85 it must have been, right? 85 had to be 85, 86. And I got it for Christmas and I took the stack of 5. I went to my bedroom and I read them straight. All I did was I remember reading, Tim, 25 straight hours because what I did was I read the books and in between I'm only eating, pissing and whatever. That's it, right? Shitting. That's all I was doing, right? And I finished them and I laid back like I just had an orgasm, smoked a cigarette, metaphorically speaking. I picked up book 1 again and started all over again. So I read the whole Belgariad series back to back, and then I gave them to my brother. They were fucking fantastic. Yeah, that was my first wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, Flint said Strum. Probably Strum would be my main. Yeah,
Strum was cool. He was the knight who died heroically. Spoiler alert for a 40-year-old book.
Right, yeah, 40-year-old spoiler. Yeah. No, but Strum. If probably all of them. It would probably be Strum.
Yeah. I like Tasselhoff. I gotta say, I still think about this scene to this day. When Flint will know this scene. When Flint Fireforge died, remember that Flint. I know you're listening. I know you hear it. When he died and Tasselhoff cried, I choked up. I'm choking up a little bit now thinking about it. That was a fucking hell of a scene, man. That was a hell of a scene. That was great.
I do remember. I kind of remember that, but not great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm gonna break a tear. So I wept bitterly. Yeah, I knew it, Flint. I knew you would. Yep. I knew it. That's a hell of a fucking scene, dude. I'm getting a little choked up now. So let's end this before I cry like a bitch on stream. All right. So thank you all for listening. God damn it. We promised you an hour, maybe an hour, 10, hour, 15 max.
We doubled up on it.
You got 2 hours here. So I hope you liked it. But it was a good topic. And I knew it would go long because Tim knows everything about this stuff. So this will be a good landmark video, Tim. You could probably permalink this in your show, and rather on your channel at Facebook, It's a good video.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I don't know either. I think I made the permalink just now.
Sounds good. I liked it.
Yeah, I kind of do too. It sounds powerful, doesn't it? Permalink. It's just powerful. But anyway,
yeah.
yeah. So
Now
thanks
we're going
all.
to go off in the weeds in this one.
Yeah. Thanks all for listening here.
No, we
Thanks.
appreciate it, guys. Thanks for listening.
Appreciate it.
Drone on. Yep.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.